Hi everyone. Today we are going to see IPC, inter-process communication. We have already seen the two types of process, independent and cooperative. For implementation cooperative process only we are using IPC. IPC can be implemented basically by two types. It is of shared memory and message passing. In shared memory we have seen a problem of producer consumer problem, which is sharing the same memory location. And today we are going to see about message passing systems. In this, message passing is a mechanism which allows the implementation of inter-process communication to the cooperating process in a system by synchronizing their actions without sharing the same address space, but it allows to share the data by sending it in the form of messages. We have already seen it. It is particularly useful for distributed system in a distributed environment, whereas the communication process may reside on different computing networks, because there is no possibility for sharing the same memory location practically. Because for example, if a system which is communicating is in a same network, they can be using the same data space and accessing it in an, for example, it to be as cloud or it is of server space. It can communicate and access the data if it is present in a same network. But if the communicating systems are in different network, they can be implemented using shared memory. So in this, the message passing is the only way for implementation of inter-process communication for the process which is in the different network. In this, the message passing is a task, right? It needs to be completed within two operations. One is, that is the sending the message, and another one is receiving the message. The sender sends the message. The process which need to share the data will send the data, and the receiver receives the message. These are the two operations which is performed under message passing systems. Okay. In this, the method of logically implementing a link of send and receive operations can be categorized under three types. That is direct or indirect communication, synchronous and asynchronous communication, and finally automatic or explicit buffering. Let's see it one by one. First one is direct communication. In this direct communication, it is so simple. In this, exactly two process only can be uh, involved in that message passing. That is the only one sender and only one receiver. Other than two process, no other process can get involved in this communication. In this, a link is established between the process that want to communicate, that is the sender and the receiver. The process need to know the identity of the process which is getting involved in the communication. That is, the sender must know to need the identity of the receiver, and the receiver must need to know the identity of the sender. In this, a link is shared between the sender and the receiver for the communication establishment between these two processes exactly. In this, only one link is established between this sender and the receiver process. So the sender sends the message to the receiver, and the receiver receives that message. This is the concept of direct communication for implementation of inter-process communication. In this, the message is sent using send method. In this, the send method will be having P, which is of the ID of the process, okay, which is getting received. So P denotes the identity of the receiver of the message, and in the receiver side, the receiver receives the data using a method called receive. In this, receiver has to know the identity of the sender. So receive q comma message. Q is the identity of the sender. So whereas in direct or symmetric, as I said, both the sender process and the receiver process must be known, and the link will be established between only these two processes. This is the concept of direct or symmetric method for implementation of inter-process communication under message passing scenario.